All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. So, if you're in a long-term relationship, you already know exactly how incredibly easy it is to fall into comfortable, predictable routines. But what if there was a way to actively transform those well-worn routines into deep, active connections? Well, today, we're unpacking the fascinating psychology behind partner dancing, and we're going to explore exactly how this shared hobby acts as the ultimate relationship hack.
So let me ask you, what does quality time actually look like for you these days? Let's be completely honest with ourselves here. For so many of us, quality time has kind of devolved into a vague, low-energy rut. You know the drill. The standard, repetitive dinner dates, or sitting side by side on the couch, both of you just scrolling through your phones while half watching a show. Or maybe it's just trying to carve out 20 spare minutes while scheduling around incredibly busy weeks. It's a very common modern problem, and if you're feeling it, your experience is completely valid. But here's the thing. Passive leisure rarely builds active connection.
To fix this, we're going to treat today's explainer as a structured masterclass on relationship psychology. We'll be moving through beyond typical quality time, real-time physical communication, trust and emotional safety, shared goals and momentum, reintroducing play and touch, and finally, taking the first step.
Section 1. Beyond typical quality time. Finding connection built into every step.
Okay, so we're going to explore how replacing passive leisure with a shared activity fundamentally changes your dynamic as a couple. We want an activity where connection isn't just a happy accident, right? It needs to be an active structural requirement. And that's where partner dancing comes in. It's two people coordinating movement in real time to practice trust, communication, and mutual attention. We aren't just talking about learning a physical skill here or preparing a quick routine for a wedding or surviving the sweaty palms of your very first group class. This is actually a surprisingly traditional solution for practicing absolute relationship fundamentals. When you're coordinating movement in real time, connection is literally built into every single step, turn, and count. You simply cannot zone out.
And you've got plenty of options. Whether you gravitate toward the high social energy of swing, the classic elegance of ballroom, or the rhythms of salsa, tango, or country two-step, the key takeaway is that the essential underlying dynamic remains exactly the same across all of them. It's two people coordinating in real time. That simple structure is what creates the magic, completely regardless of the music playing. Section 2. Real-time physical communication, bypassing the after-the-fact negotiations. We're going to completely reframe how you think about physical connection. Think about a standard relationship conflict for a second. How often do you find yourself in this uphill negotiation on the couch, trying to dissect feelings and intentions hours after an event actually happened? It can be absolutely exhausting. But on the dance floor, connection is a real-time conversation. Leads and followers are constantly exchanging these subtle cues through posture, timing, and light steering. You are basically forced to solve problems instantly. A misstep requires a quick adjustment of your angle, or maybe slowing down your pace, right there in the moment. You have to pay close attention, respond immediately, and align. Over time, practicing that physical problem-solving on the floor translates into much clearer, calmer communication off the floor. It's a real game changer.
Section 3. Trust and emotional safety. The safety of missteps.
I really want to slow down here for a second because this is absolutely crucial. Partner dancing involves genuine physical closeness. It requires coordinated weight shifts. It demands a willingness to be guided by your partner. But here is the secret. You are going to get it wrong. You are going to navigate a crowded social floor, completely lose the count to the music, or accidentally step squarely on your partner's toe. It's going to happen. But those mistakes become safe. When partners feel supported during a clumsy misstep, it entirely removes the fear of failure. It teaches you both that you can rely on one another. You build resilience together, reinforcing this beautiful idea that challenges are perfectly manageable as long as you tackle them as a team. It fosters a much more forgiving tone in the relationship as a whole.
Section 4. Shared goals and momentum. Escaping the monotony of routine.
Psychologically speaking, couples thrive on shared activities that actually progress, rather than things that simply entertain us for an hour before we go to sleep. We crave positive momentum. You might start with your first class, where you're just figuring out how to master the basic steps without colliding. Then, a few weeks later, you're confident enough to join a local social dance. And down the road, who knows, maybe you're even performing a routine at a celebration. These are measurable, visible wins. Having a shared goal completely replaces relationship stagnation with positive, forward-moving momentum. It severely boosts your motivation as a couple.
And that leads directly to this really powerful phrase from our source material, we're building something together. Experiencing those visible wins, like finally nailing a complex sequence that tripped you up last week, is incredibly emotionally rewarding. It actively strengthens your bond because it proves, tangibly, that you are a unified team building something together.
Section 5. Reintroducing play and touch. Reigniting romance and intimacy. We have to acknowledge that long-term relationships naturally face a slow shift toward routine. It's familiar and it's very comfortable, but let's be real, it can sometimes be a lot less energizing than those early days. Physical interaction often becomes just casual and everyday. But when you introduce partner dancing, that atmosphere completely flips. It actively reintroduces novelty, play, and social energy. Instead of just sitting on the couch, you're engaging in structured, consent-based closeness. The dance floor actively brings back shared laughter after a clumsy turn. It brings a shared sense of pride when you get it right, and it provides a totally fresh context for empowering physical touch that can feel deeply romantic. It completely refreshes the entire connection.
Section 6. Taking the first step. How couples can start without pressure.
Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now, but I have 2 left feet. I can't dance. Let me reassure you right now, you absolutely do not need to be good dancers to reap these incredible communication benefits. Truly. So, here is a low-pressure way to start. First, find a beginner-friendly couples class. You want a comfortable, encouraging environment designed specifically for partners. Second, choose a dance style that matches both of your preferences to reduce any friction and make it easier to sustain. And finally, focus strictly on teamwork, listening, and patience over technical perfection. The real improvements you are aiming for aren't fancy footwork, they're better listening, more patience during corrections, and a stronger sense of being a unified team.
I want to leave you with this final, thought-provoking quote. In a world where relationship efforts can sometimes feel like an uphill negotiation, partner dancing offers a repeatable path to closeness, one step at a time. It's just an amazing, structured framework for connection. So, I have to ask you, what repeatable path to closeness will you build next?